Hey, have you heard the phrase "ekranunalakarapacha"? It basically just means grass is greener on the other side always, and I've come to realize that it's very much true because I'm in that avastha right now. I'm in that situation right now, and guess what? It's just been 2 weeks since I've moved from India to Dublin, and I'm already feeling homesick. Now, I only tend to be a rebel when I'm out of my comfort space, my home. But that's also untrue because when I was home for the past 1.5 years, I've been like, why, God, why? Why am I unemployed? Why are things not working out for me? Why am I sitting home idle? Why am I not working? Why don't I have a 9 to 5? Yeah, I've always been a complaint box. I always need something to worry about. I overthink a lot. I'm overthinking, Ultra Pro Max. That's a person that I am. Okay. So, but hear me out before you judge me, or hear me out while you're judging me. Okay. I have a bachelor's and master's in social work. Okay. And I immediately started working after my master's in a nonprofit organization, and I absolutely loved my work. And I was not worried about money at that point of time because my aim was to gain experience, and I did gain experience. But as I started working and as months progressed, I was like, I was barely able to meet rent and other expenses. It was like, this is not the kind of life that I want to lead. I definitely want to be in my profession, but I don't want to barely meet my expenses. I want to be able to stand on my own foot, and I need to be able to provide to my family as well, to my parents. I need to do something in return for them. And I'm not being able to do that with my current job because financially, I was barely independent. Okay. I was a weak independent woman at that point. So I decided that maybe I have to diversify my career because it was just a bachelor's and master's in social work that I had at the time. So I moved to the UK under a scholarship program um, to pursue MSc in behavior change. And I loved my 1 year there, but I was also homesick. I was terribly homesick. I don't know why. It's not my first time moving out of my home, but it was my first time moving out of my country. But yeah, but I thought I would be able to manage, but I was really homesick. I didn't take part in any activities much. I wasn't socializing with a lot of people. I barely went out. So I didn't have a good time in the UK, and I had plans. Okay. I wanted to be a social worker in the UK. So I thought that in the 1 year of study that I'll be doing, I'll also apply for my social work England registration. And as my luck would turn out, I could not manage to get my registration within the 1 year of time. And it was frustrating because the amount of documents they kept asking to prove my qualifications meet their standard after having a bachelor's and master's in my studies in social work, it was disturbing. I just wanted to get out of there. And so I thought of surprising my family after almost 8 months. And they were surprised. And I had plans of going back, but then I realized that without registration, what was I exactly going to do? Because until then, I had a scholarship, so I didn't have to really pay for my rent. I only had to look after my. I didn't have a lot of course fee to pay. I didn't have course fee to pay. I didn't have I didn't have a loan, anything of that sort. So I didn't have any financial burden like majority of other students would. Uh, so I don't want to go back and be a financial burden to my family. What if I was not able to find the job that I want? And what if I continue working part time? And when you start working part time, I don't think you would have the energy in you to find jobs that actually suit your qualification in your rest time because you would really just want to rest because you also have other household chores to do. It's not like when you're home. So I stayed in India thinking it'll be for the better. And I really wanted to find a job in India because I was like, okay, now I have a diversified career option. I have a psychology. I have. It's not just social work. I also have a degree in psychology. So it would be sure my course was not very much heard in India, but surely I'll be able to manage to get a decent pay somewhere. But it disappoints me to say this out loud, but no, the way India's social workers are underpaid, India's health and social sector is underpaid, terrible. I am absolutely disappointed with my country because I had to move out of the country because I was not being paid. I have I had two masters. I have two masters. I'm not bragging here, but I have two masters. I have tons of experience in different settings, internship, field work, placements, work. Now, all I attended a couple of interviews, and everyone was amazed at the pay scale that I was asking. It was basically like 9 lakh per annum, and they were like, "Oh no, that's too much for social sector." And I was like, "Really? How is it too much? I mean, we're working 24/7. We are there at your call, and we don't have a work-life balance. We're ready to compromise all that, but you're not ready to pay us a basic decent scale, even though we have a master's. It doesn't matter if it's from a reputable university. It doesn't matter if you were a topper. It doesn't really matter if you did good in research. Nothing matters at the point. What matters is, do you have work experience? And even if you have work experience, it's going to be like, oh yeah, you have work experience, but you know what, we have to train you in other fields, so it's going to be a total loss for us. I don't hear you complaining about this to other qualifications, and I'm really disappointed because I'm in Dublin and I'm working the job. I mean, the job a job that I'm at right now is the job of my dreams, and I'm sad that I am working the job of my dreams in a different country when I really wanted to do that in my own country. It's just disappointing, and I had to say this out loud. So, yeah, but now that I'm here, I miss home. I miss home every day. I miss my nephew the most. I miss every day. I don't have the energy in me. What I mean, I was homesick in the UK, but I'm more terrible now, even though I thought it would be for the better, and it is for the better career wise, and I've always been career oriented. But at, at one point in your life, you would want your family with you, you know. You would want to be with your family. And I'm at that point in my life and I'm not with them. I'm still struggling financially. And I'm at the stage where I would have this thought that I want to go back home. Maybe it's not worth it. I can just go back home. And then I'm like, the next minute I'm like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do that I'm returning home? Everyone is gonna be like, oh, why did you return home so early? Why and who's going to employ me in India? Who's going to give me the pay scale that a decent pay scale? And I mean, I would still have to start as an amateur. And I'm not ready for that. I'm not, because I know that I'm not worth that kind of treatment. I'm worth more than that. And I can't convince that to the Indian job market somehow. And so it's better that I am away from my home, I guess.